Okay, I'm going to hit record. Let's do this. Okay, I'll see you at the other side. Please enjoy. Take it easy. Yeah, work within your comfort levels. So begin in standing with your feet hip distance apart. Knees are going to be soft. Hands on the brim of your pelvis. Couple of pelvic tilts to begin with, just to warm up that back. Find that kind of neutral pelvis. And then rest, level. Relax your hands down by your side. I'm going to begin by working with a little bit of a warm up anyway. So take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just reach down to the outside of one leg. Nice and heavy, don't force it. Just let your body ease into that gravity. Heavy down, and then stack back up through the side of your body. And then over to the opposite side. A nice deep breath out to help you lower down. And back up again. Super. And again, slowly down, nice and controlled. As if your body's just curling in half. Come back up. Imagine you're stood between two panes of glass and you don't want to touch either side of those panes. So try and keep your body nice and central, no twisting, it's that sideways movement. Okay, now we're going to go down and we're going to look up towards the ceiling, keeping that top shoulder melted away from the chin. And then look forwards and stack back up. And down to the other side, melt that shoulder away, look up and forwards and stack back up. Let's do one more of those. I think they feel really good. We'll do one more on each side. Melt down, rotate up and forwards, stack back up. Final side, super slow. Enjoy that slow movement. Looking up and looking forwards and stack back up. So we're going to continue with that idea of just rolling halfway through the body. This time we're going to take it forwards. So we're not doing a full roll down. We're just going to take the hands around to the knees. So roll down through your spine. Let your hands slide down the front of your legs. You can soften the knees if it helps. And then we just simply stack back up to stand. So a little mini roll down just to work back. Okay, and again, roll down. Only to the knees and back up again. Lovely. Okay, come with me. We're going to make it a touch more movement with the arms now. So we roll down, looking forwards if you need to, but if you can, keep your chin gently drop down to your chest. Reach your arms forwards and then up towards the ceiling. And as you begin to reach up with your hands, you're then going to stack yourself back up to stand. And when you come up, just make sure those shoulders are melting down towards your waist, and then bring your hands back down to your side. So we roll down, hands towards the knees, then we sweep the arms forwards, and then once those hands get past shoulder height, we continue to grow tall as the arms lift up, so we can keep that spine in line, and then relax the arms down by the side. Couple more. So roll down, sweep the arms forwards, come up to stand, melt those shoulders down away from those ears, and relax the arms down. Just let those arms just roll, float down nice and softly. Once more. Roll down, float the arms forwards and then up, but this time keep them up. So when we're there, melt those arms down, shoulders down away from the ears. Make sure your rib cage isn't flared forwards either. Gently draw the tummy towards the spine, and then we're going to float up onto tiptoes and down again. So a little bit of a balance challenge now. So as we float up, keep the arms lifted throughout. You could work on that pelvic floor. So breathe in. As you breathe out, float up, lift through the pelvic floor, and release. Arms should be feeling nice and warm now. So let's do 3 more lifts and lowers, but keep those arms where they are. Make sure those shoulders aren't starting to creep up as your arms get tired. Lift and lower. 2 more. Super. One more. Ooh, roll my heels. Okay, lovely. Heels stay down, and this time we're just going to stretch to the side of the body, reaching up to the ceiling with one hand, and then come back down and reach up to the ceiling with the opposite hand. So it's almost as if you're elongating the sides of the body, but keep those shoulders nice and heavy. So you're trying to open the side of your rib cage away from your waist. Should feel really good, guys. So make sure you're working within a comfortable range. One more on each side. Super. Arms should be feeling warm as they've held that position up. Okay, and then take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just float those arms nice and slowly back down to your waist. Lovely. And give them a shake. Okay, so arms good. Let's get these legs going now. So feet are hip distance apart, knees and toes pointing forwards. You're imagining there's a small chair behind you and you're just perching on that chair and then pushing back up to stand. So the hips travel backwards and the heart travels forwards, but try and keep your chest lifted. So we're not collapsing down, we're opening out through the fronts of the shoulders and we're sitting back into that chair. As you look down, make sure you can still see your toes. If your toes have disappeared, you're going to miss that chair. So take that weight into your heels and go a little bit lower if you can. Knees pointing forwards throughout, so you've got that rubber band tied around your knees. Gently press into that rubber band so those knees don't collapse in. Now remember, we can work harder by going lower, so just work with what's comfortable for you. Make sure you've got equal weight going through both legs. Let's mix it up a little bit now. So on your next one, you're going to lower down, you're going to shift your weight across to one leg, and then you're going to step the opposite leg behind you. Back to that squat position and push back up through the center. Down again, shift across to the opposite side now, extend that leg behind, feet together and come back up. Now you can make that a little bit easier by not stepping that foot quite so far behind. You can make it harder by really extending that leg away from you, maybe not even really touching it down towards the floor. So it's not really about that leg that's traveling behind, it's about that leg that's bearing your weight. So can you do that without too much of a wobble in that knee? Remember those beams of light that are shining through your kneecaps? Can you keep them pointing forwards throughout? Looking good, guys, looking really good. Okay, we're going to make it a bit harder if you want to without coming up in between. So we lower down into the squat, we shift across, we step behind, back to the center, shift across, step behind, back to the center. Remember, longer step makes it harder. Shorter step, you're still working hard, but a little bit less load. Keep going, guys. This is it for our standing sequence. So use what you've got in those legs. Keep shifting, keep that chest lifted, but shoulders slightly tilted forwards. Tailbone tucked underneath, tummy towards the spine. 2 more on each side. Good work, guys. Legs should be getting nice and warm now. Got a little thing to turn up the heat if they're still not there. Okay, holding this one, either with the foot touched towards the floor or the foot hovered off the floor, we come into hundreds. So pulse those arms, reach down towards the floor with your fingertips so that your shoulders are really nice and open. Gently squeeze your shoulder blades together and keep pulsing. We've got 100 in total, so we're going to do 50 on each side. I make that 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Swap side, shift across, leg goes behind. Remember, the leg could touch down and you pulse here. The leg could straighten out and you pulse here, or the leg could lift up. If you are lifting up, don't lift with your back. Keep your tailbone nice and long and pulse. Keep it going, halfway there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Touch down, bring those feet together, push back up and shake out through those legs. Very nice. Looking good, feeling good. Hopefully you're warm. Let's come down onto the mat and we're going to start in a kneeling position. So facing forwards, high kneeling. Haven't done this position for a while, so I thought we'd add it in. When you look down towards your knees, make sure your knees and hips are stacked on top of each other and you're not sitting back in towards your heels. So you're going to go nice and tall, nice and upright. We can do our pelvic tilts here. We still need to work on that level pelvis. And sometimes it's a little bit harder in this kneeling position. So once you've found your level pelvis, lift up through your spine. Elbows tucked in. Let's go for our dumb waiter here. So we're going to work to float those trays out to the side without letting that rib cage flare forwards. And if you need to, gently draw your tummy towards your spine to help with that. Good work. Lovely. Okay, let's go through and add a stretch on the end. So float the trays away, reach them to the sides of the room without shrugging those shoulders. Draw those elbows back in and hands come to the front again. Take those trays to the side, reach them away, draw them back in, hands come forwards. Throughout this, you should feel a gentle glow between the shoulder blades. As these muscles remain nice and active, do keep your shoulders tucked down into your back pockets. Okay, let's add a twist on this next one. So when you get to that arm reach, just hold that position. I'll give you all a moment to catch up. Make sure those shoulders aren't scrunched up to those ears. Nice long neck. Breathe in, and as we breathe out, we're twisting to the side, rotating from the rib cage up. So keep your belly button pointing forwards. Whatever way you're twisting to, push into the opposite knee, and that will level your pelvis forwards. Back to the center, watch those shoulders, and then go to the opposite side. Keep working with that. I'm going to come and see how you're getting on. Remember, if you're not breathing, everything's going to be tight. So use that breath to allow you to twist a little bit further. Oh, hi, Lydia. Hi, Paul and Muna, Lauren. Didn't see you at the start. Good. Oh, one more on each side. Checking on those shoulders. Looking good, guys. Well done. All really good. Perfect. Final one, I think most of you are coming up to. Okay, and then when you're done, we're going to come back to that starting position. Okay, we're going to work into the side line of the body now. So that's these muscles on the outside of the hip. And we're going to do that in our kneeling position. So we're going to reach down towards the floor. And sometimes the floor can feel like quite a long way away. So if that's the case, you could lean on a coffee table or a couple of pillows stacked up just to bring the floor a bit closer to you. So we're going to do both sides. It's up to you which one you choose to do first. So reach one hand to the side and stretch the opposite leg away. And again, you're in that pane of glass. One pane in front, one pane behind. So try not to twist your body. Keep yourself nice and level through. And then we're reaching down towards the floor or to your coffee table, wherever you are. Okay, super. Then we're going to bend that knee ever so slightly. Okay, and then we're going to lift the outside of the knee up to hip height. So we're bending the knee to begin with, just to give you a level to come into this exercise, because the long leg lifts are quite challenging. And I want you to think about keeping your waist nice and long and try not to hitch at the waist to lift your hip. So it's a really isolated movement just to this hip. Try and keep this knee and hip in line, and you can do that by pushing away from your hand. Good stuff. It's kind of like that modified, that peeing up the lamppost of a dog kind of movement, but just on your side. Now these are tricky, so you should feel like you're getting quite warm with those. So once you've done about 6 of those, rest. You can come out of that position if you need to, and then reset. And also, because we're leaning through that shoulder, you're going to get a little bit of strengthening activity as well. Let me see how you're doing. Lovely, Lucy. Good work. So 6 to 8, rest and reset. Well done, Jill. Well done, Chris. Beautiful. Okay, good work, everybody. So, option is just to work on that one, or we can progress you on a little bit more. So from here, we're going to float that leg up, and then we're going to stretch that leg away, and then fold it back in. Stretch it away, and fold it back in. Now, you might find that that stretch is just too tough, which is okay, because this is a challenge. And if that's the case, go back to those lovely lifts and lowers that you've all just shown me. You can do really well. So option one is to work on that lift and lower, maybe adding a little bit of a hold and slowing the movement down, or adding that push and back. And you can add those pushes, you can have a little rest in between if the leg gets tired, or you can build up your energy, your fatigue. You okay, mister? Absolutely. Sorry, I've just got somebody at the door. Keep going, guys. Super. Let me come and see how you're doing. I had an intruder. Good work, guys. Watch those necks don't get heavy, so keep that lovely diagonal line through your body. I want you to hold wherever you are, bent leg, straight leg, whatever works for you. We're going to hold it. We're going to hold it. Keep on holding it. Keep on holding it. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Touch down, come back to the center and push back into both heels. Very nice. I hope your hips are feeling glowy. I only did about 1/3 of the amount that you did, and mine are. So well done, guys. Really good. Okay, let's go straight onto the opposite side so that we can get it done. So we know what's happening now, so we can sit straight back up, reach down to the floor or to a couple of pillows and stretch the opposite leg away now. You might find it's a little bit harder to get into that position because you've fatigued this muscle, but really try and push and lift away from the floor. So the top leg just becomes slightly bent, and then we work to lift and lower, lift and lower. So I've mentioned this, watch those necks. What tends to happen is we tire, we kind of lose that top line of the body. We want to keep a lovely diagonal line running from your nose down towards your breastbone, down towards your belly button. Good. So work on those lifts. As I say, do about 6 and then rest if you need to. You can come away from that position. I know it's tiring for the shoulder and the arm, and then go again. Don't give up on me though, guys. I know you know what's coming, so sometimes you go a little bit less energetic the second round because you try and hold some in reserve, but this is it for this muscle grip, so we can really work it. Let me come and see how you're doing. Oh, lovely, Helen, well done. Very nice. I can see some of you more than others. You're all looking great. Okay, let's add that leg press on now, only if you want to, so you could stay here, or we float the leg up and we stretch it out and we draw it back in, and you can add your breathing pattern here. So a breath out to push away, as that's where our effort is, and a breath in to float back. Remember, you could push away, float in and touch down. Push away, float in and touch down, or you could build up those repetitions to really challenge the endurance of that muscle, or we could just stick with those lovely lifts of those legs, getting these bottom muscles working. Whatever you're doing, stick with it. Stick with it. You've got a few more, and then we're going to add that hold. I like what I see. Nice, Lauren, good work. Afshin, that looks great. Lovely shoulder position you're holding there. Go for it, Chris. Okay, let's hold it wherever you are. Bent leg, straight leg. Keep holding it. Keep holding it. Last push. 3, 2, and 1. Down we go, and push back to both of those heels, giving your bottom a little bit of a wiggle as well from side to side. Just feels quite nice. Okay, straight into our box position, because we don't have much time to mess around. I'm going to turn side on, but you can stay where you are. So we're going to work to abdominal strength here now. So box position, hands beneath shoulders or slightly in front if it feels more comfortable for your wrists. Knees beneath hips. Remember, knees are hip distance apart. find that neutral spine, so you've got that nice long neck, shoulders down towards the waist, and lengthen the tailbone away. We're going to go straight into it this evening, guys. I just want you to do a little prep with the tummy. So draw your tummy towards your spine. Get that sense of how that feels. Tuck your toes underneath. Breathe in, and then reset by drawing that tummy to the spine once more, and hover the knees off your mat. So options here, you just lift and lower, then you can sit back and reset, or you can lift and maybe hold that position. It's not a high lift, so you're trying to keep a 90-degree bend at the knees. You are a coffee table, and you want to keep all of those coffee cups on your back from spilling. Now remember when we spoke about our knees with our squats, it's the same with the box position. You've got that band tied around your knees, gently push into the outside of that band just to keep those hips working. We've just worked them really well, so they should know what they're doing. Okay, so keep going with those. For those of you that feel that that's an okay level and you want to work a little bit harder, we're going to combine what we did with our standing sequence with those little steps back with the legs. So the knees lift up and then we stretch the feet away. Now again, as we did in standing, the further away your leg stretches, the harder the challenge. So you could give these a try and just do a tiny tap back, and you're still asking a little bit more of your body. Or if you feel okay, lengthen the full length of your mat. And remember, you could do 1 and lower down. You could do 1, 2, 3, 4 and lower down. You could do 20 if you want. I'm not going to give you enough time to do 20, but see how you go. And remember, it's not about what's going on with those legs. It's about, are you spilling your cups of coffee? So if you find you're twisting around, then just make your movements a bit smaller. These look good. Well done, Lids. That looks great. That's it, Lauren. Find those tummy muscles. Well done, everyone. Really good to both of the Jills. Look great. Okay, I'm going to give you one more opportunity just to get a few more in, or just to have a little rest if you need to. Super, and then let's all just sit back into that shell stretch. Just hang out there for a moment longer, and I'm just going to explain your next exercise because we're going to be working on our tummies, which is a little bit difficult to see what you're doing. So you're going to come to line your tummies with your hands supported on your forehead. Melt the shoulders down away from the ears and tuck the tailbone towards the heel. So you're just pressing into the mat with your pubic bone. Keeping the back of the neck long, so you're going to continue to look down. You're just going to see if you can hover your neck and head off the mat. Hands stay down to begin with. So it's just the lift of the head and neck off the mat. Keep those shoulders tucked down. Temptation can be to lose that neck. I want you to have a nice long neck. Most importantly, keep the neck long. Back of the neck is nice and lengthened. So somebody's pulling your head away from your body, and then you lower down. Again, you could just lift and lower, or lift and hold. And if someone was to look at you, you'd be giving them a lovely double chin, because you're gently pushing that chin towards the chest. Let me see that. Oh yes, Chris, that looks great. Got loads of movement there. Very nice. Okay, super. Now we're going to combine the legs now. So as the head lifts, I want you to think about lengthening one leg away from your body. And then when you've stretched it as far away as you can, you're going to float it up. Keep that leg nice and long. Keep that pubic bone pressed into the mat so your back doesn't arch. And then those 2 points lower down. And then we swap legs and lift the head again. So we're just really energizing all of those muscles that work down the back line of the body. Really big, long sling of muscles that help with our posture. Keep it going. Now, for those of you that want to, you can lift your hands as well. So just have a check-in on what I'm doing with that. As the head floats up, the hands are gently pressed to the forehead, but I'm still keeping the back of the neck nice and long and looking down throughout. Only do that if it's comfortable on your neck. If it feels like it's pulling your neck at all, then go back to that lift just without your hands. Let's go for one more on each side. Often don't work this kind of position, so it's nice to add it back in. Oh, well done, everyone. Yeah, really good. Super. And that should have given us a little bit of extension. So let's go into our Cobra stretch. You can do a mini Cobra or a full Cobra. Take the feet wider than the hips. The hands are roughly shoulder height, and we peel the spine away from the mat, looking forwards or maybe up. Just do what's comfortable for you. And then just ease out of that stretch, tuck your toes underneath and push back once more into shell stretch. That should feel like a huge relief through your spine as you've just done loads of work into the movement we call extension, and you've switched it through to flexion now, so your back should really like that change in position. Okay, let's finish off with our abdominal strengthening on the rest position. So lie on your back with your feet hip distance apart. Last few minutes now, guys, just a little bit more to push through. So feet are hip distance apart, knees are bent, and let's just find that neutral spine by performing a few of those pelvic tilts. So you're aiming to have a small gap just in the little arch of your back, but not too large. We're going to begin with our scissors exercise. So imagine a marble resting in the center of your lower tummy, and you're just going to float one leg up into tabletop and down, and repeat with the other leg. So your goal is to not let your marble roll from side to side or forwards and backwards. And you can just gently place your hand on your tummy if it helps for a little bit of feedback as to what's going on there. I think we all know what we're doing with our scissors exercise, but let's just keep it simple a little while longer and just remind ourselves that we could always come back to this level if the tummy strength stuff gets a little bit too challenging. Okay, so we're going to come up into our double tabletop now. So we float one leg up and then we bring the other one up to meet. And sometimes just gently pressing the back of the rib cage into the mat can help give you a little bit more tummy strength to do so. Now we're going to revisit this idea that we've worked through in a couple of different positions of tapping the feet away. So you're going to bring one leg and tap it down towards the mat, float it back up to tabletop, and then tap the other leg down. Now, as with the other exercises, the closer towards your body, the smaller the load. So if you want to work a little bit harder, start to stretch your foot away from you as you lower down. If you get any clicking or grinding in your hips with that, keep that movement smaller. So the more bent your knee is, the shorter the load, the longer your leg is, straighter your leg is, the heavier the load. And the goal with this really is to make sure your back doesn't arch as you lower your legs down towards the mat. So even if you need to gently press into that sponge in the small of your back, that's fine if it means you're not arching your back. If you can't do it without arching, make those movements teeny tiny. If you still can't do it, practice holding that double tabletop. Now these get quite tiring. So once you've done about 8 on each leg, hug those knees towards the chest, reset and repeat. Maybe you could go a little bit longer when you've had a little reset, and you can make those movements smaller if you need to. You should really feel the tummy working with this one. Let me come and see you. Yeah, that's it, Helen. Just take that break and then join back in. Good. Oh, well done, Lucy. That looks beautiful. Fabulous. Mum and Dad, you're doing great, but I can only see your lampshade, so. Very nice. Okay, couple more each leg. We're almost there. I'm sure your tummies are telling you that. Okay, I want you to hold with one leg lowered towards the floor, but don't place it down. So the longer you go, the harder you work. Yeah, so you can stretch that leg away, or you can bend that knee. And then we're going to come into our hundreds. So it's almost as if you've been doing your scissors exercise and someone's hit pause on your legs and you're adding your hundreds pulse. So you could be here or you could be here, don't mind. Just make sure that lower back's not arching away from the mat. Keep pulsing, keep pulsing, keep pulsing, keep pulsing. Pause, fold that leg into tabletop and then stretch the other leg down, but don't touch down towards the floor, and then pulse. Keep pulsing. This is it, guys. Keep pulsing. Oh, keep pulsing. Super. And then fold both legs back to tabletop and pulse here just in hundreds. I'm going to give you options. You can pulse in double tabletop. You can add head and shoulders lifted away from the mat, or you can float your legs up towards the ceiling for a full level 500s. Just pulse though. Do what you can. Keep it going. We're going to the end. We're here for 10, 9, smile, 8, looking good. 7, keep it going. 6, I'm right here with you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good stuff. Down with the head if you're there, and hug those knees towards your chest. Whew. It's amazing, isn't it, how you can be hating one exercise and then you move on to the next one and you forget about the one you were just hating. It's all a passing experience. If you want to hang out with hugging those knees a little bit longer, be my guest. Otherwise, please come and join me to say goodbye.